Chris, we're 2 weeks away from a trip to Abu Dhabi, 3 months away, I think, from the start of the season now. We'll start by looking back on the last couple of months and how pre-season's has gone in sort of a general sense.
Yeah, it's been a really good pre-season. It's been different in that we've had very few bodies around, to be fair. We've been kind of working with about 8 players in general, on average, with a few girls abroad, a few away with England A, obviously the England girls away as well. Last couple of weeks, some of the students have had exams and whatnot, so it's been really good to get some individual time in with the girls. We've had a lot of one-to-ones, a lot of technical focus work, and that's, I suppose, why we're so excited about tour, is to see if those little changes that we've tried to make with the players are going to impact their games that we're hoping from a tactical perspective and help us build on last year.
Is the fact that you've got fewer players beneficial almost for their development, the girls that are here, because you're able to spend a little bit more time with them?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Like they've certainly bowled more balls, hit more balls, caught more balls in general with there being less people around. Like the programme hasn't changed. We haven't shrunk the amount of contact time that we've had, so they've just had a lot more focused time with individual coaches, which has been really good. They've been really deliberate, to be fair to the girls, on what they wanted to work on and stuck at it and worked really hard. And we're starting to see some of those fruits of that labour now, I guess.
And on the other side of the coin, how do you keep tabs, or do you keep tabs, I guess, on the girls that are essentially around the world playing in various franchise competitions, playing internationally or out in Australia? What's your sort of contact with them like?
Yeah, I mean, being honest, it's a learning for everyone, the way that the game's going and growing, and we've certainly learnt from some mistakes last year when we had some people away. We've caught up with the girls on a sort of 3-week rolling schedule with those abroad, and just checked in on how they're going. There's been some videos back and forth from some of the players on what they've been working on. Teresa out in Australia has got access to a piece of software coach now that she uses, and her coach puts the clips on so we can look at those when we're going through. And then obviously the informal ones of just checking in and having conversations individually with them as ultimately for some of our girls as well, if it's the right thing for them as people, as young people. It's obviously a massive life opportunity, and our sort of 21, 22, 23-year-olds, when the world got locked down a few years ago, didn't perhaps have that experience. So just weighing those bits up. Some, like Marie, went away pre-Christmas and has come back post-Christmas. She wanted to real focus on T20 block of cricket out in Australia. So it's different for each of them, just through the conversations that we'll pick up.
And a couple of bits of news since we last spoke, the first being the signing of Scarlett Hughes, someone that you've known for a little while. Can you sort of touch on how that came about and what she brings to the Blaze Group as well? Yeah,
so I've known Scarlett for, I'd say, probably 7 or 8 years now. She used to be on the Lightning RDC, as it was back in the day. So I worked with her for a few years back then. But she's sort of Essex cricketer, so when Sunrisers became a franchise or a regional team, then it made sense for her to play a cricket there from a travel perspective. We got an email at the end of the season just suggesting that she wasn't going to be a renewed contract there, and would any of the regions be interested. And knowing what we've got coming up with a few of Sarah Bryce's international commitments, we wanted there to be some challenge and some support there for Ella Claridge, and saw Scarlett as a good option with the gloves, but equally adds to us as a batter that's left-handed. We've obviously got Grace Ballinger, who's our only left-handed batter, but someone who can fulfil a role a little bit higher up the order than Gracie B.
And the other bit of signing news is the return of Nadine de Klerk, who had a fantastic season last year. How exciting was it for you as a coaching group and a playing group as well to get her back for 2024?
Yeah, it's massive. Nads was fantastic cricketer for the first sort of true overseas, as the want of the word, that we had. And how she input into the group off the field, obviously on the field, massive success with the ball. What's really exciting me is seeing some of her scores with the bat since she left us, and how she's contributing. And saw her overnight, she got a 46 off 23 balls against Australia. So hoping that we can see a bit of that with the bat from her, as well as replicating what she did with the ball for us last year. Yeah, it was a real no-brainer to get her back, and really excited to have her back around the group.
And let's look forward a little period of time. As I say, in 2 weeks you go to Abu Dhabi. What do you get from going out there, and yeah, what sort of the thought process behind that trip?
Yeah, obviously what we get is grass. So we get to play some cricket on grass, we get some sun on our back, and we're getting some competitive cricket, which is really exciting. So we're playing 3 T20s and 2 50 over games. South East Stars are also joining us out there, along with a team from India and the UAE national team. So we're going to play some good competitive cricket. And the time of year that it's coming in, that February time, obviously gives us a chance to learn some lessons and see what we might need to change ahead of the season, leading into that as well, which is also quite exciting. So yeah, we've got 3 pretty distinct blocks through the winter that we've been working through. And we're just looking forward to seeing how the girls develop in this phase when we're playing a bit of bat and ball.
Yeah, I guess it's useful for you to see them outside the ordinary setting as well. I know you're with them all year pretty much, but outside the confines of Trent Bridge or wherever it is you're training, seeing different people develop in different ways, and that can ultimately benefit you and your relationship with those as well.
Definitely. We said to the girls in the pre-meeting the other day, like we're away for 10 days. For us to get that much contact time, we're talking a month, if not longer, while we're here. So it really can accelerate some workings in the group, some new plans that we want to try and put in place, perhaps some new ideas that we've got of who may bat where and who may bowl where. But equally then, as a group of people, they're going to learn a lot about each other, and we're going to learn a lot about each other in 10 days from a staff perspective as well, just to make sure that we're delivering the best that we can possibly deliver come the season. That literally had a conversation with one of the girls today, asking how she may be able to help out when we're out there, which is awesome. But from my perspective, it's also a practice opportunity for us as coaches. So if we take luxuries of, because we've got 16 and one that's not playing does something else, then it doesn't give us a true reflection of how our season's going to look. So we've had some good conversations as a staff group about how we want to practice while we're there as well, and what we may want to try new, which is cool. And
then when you come back, you've got 8 to 10 weeks until the season starts in earnest. So you talk about the phases of pre-season there. What will that block look like when you do come back to England?
Yeah, so we'll have a bit of, a week off, a bit of downtime when we get back, and then we're getting into our refined phase of the winter there at that point. So where we need to start to learn the lessons from, okay, what have we put in technically, what stood up when we were out there in terms of competition on grass and bat versus ball, what tactical things that we're trying to implement had an impact on the game, and what didn't, what do we need to park, and what do we just need to refine a little bit to get us ready for that season. So that's where we'll be, and obviously back indoors to work on that a little bit, but then as soon as we can get ourselves outdoor and play some more match specific practice, then all the learnings that we'll get from a solid 10 days in Abu Dhabi will hopefully stand us in real good stead when the season starts.
And is it in that block of time when you start to talk about goals and what you expect to come from the season, or is that something that's already established, a couple of months ago when you regrouped for the first time?
Yeah, I think we set our stall out last year. When we sat down last year, I spoke about us wanting to become a winning environment and a winning culture, and that's absolutely where we are still. So it's pretty simple. We had a successful year last year, if you look at it in the terms of, obviously we made 2 finals, we'd never made one before, but ultimately we didn't win this year. So the group that we've got, staff and players, aspirationally want to push on to lift some silverware and win some trophies. So our goals are pretty simple. We want to replicate ourselves, getting ourselves into finals and come out on top of at least one, if not a couple next year, and try and lift some trophies.